You've probably been there. You spend hours studying, highlighting, rewriting notes, only to forget everything a week later. Or worse, the next day.
I used to reread the same paragraph 5 times before a test and still blank out. So if you're tired of wasting your time and not seeing results, you're in the right place.
In this video, we're sharing 10 genius study hacks. Yes, genius, because they're not just clever. They're actually backed by real science.
These aren't fluffy tips like just stay motivated or make your notes prettier. We're talking about memory techniques, recall strategies, and learning psychology that actually work.
Whether you're learning a language, studying for exams, or just trying to retain more of what you read, these hacks will help you study smarter, not harder.
And hey, if you're one of our channel members, welcome back. You already know we love going deep with bonus content and early access to episodes like this.
But if you're new here, don't worry. You're getting all the good stuff in this video. Let's jump into hack number 1. And trust us, it's not one you'll find in your average study guide. All right. Hack 1. Memory anchors. This one is simple, powerful, and honestly kind of weird, but it works.
The idea here is to link what you're learning to a physical object, smell, or sound. That way, your brain has an extra cue to help it remember later.
For example, if you always light a cinnamon candle while reviewing grammar rules, or wear the same hoodie when learning new vocabulary, your brain starts to associate that smell or texture with the information.
This taps into something called context-dependent memory. Studies show that we recall information better when we're in the same environment or sensory state as when we learned it.
It's kind of like how a song can take you back to a specific moment or emotion. Your brain is linking senses with memory.
So the next time you sit down to study, try adding a memory anchor. Maybe a specific scent, a certain playlist, or even chewing a unique flavor of gum.
And then use that same cue before a test, a conversation, or a presentation. Your brain will go, "Oh yeah, we've been here before."
Hack 2. The 1-minute replay. Hack number 2 is something almost no one teaches, but it's incredibly effective. It's called the 1-minute replay.
Here's how it works. When you finish studying a topic, don't immediately jump to the next thing. Instead, pause for 60 seconds and mentally replay everything you just learned.
No notes, no screens. Just sit back and ask yourself, what do I remember?
This tiny habit does something powerful. It forces your brain to pull information from memory, which is exactly how you strengthen recall.
It's like hitting the save button in your brain. You're telling your mind, hey, this matters. Let's keep it.
And here's the best part. It only takes a minute. You can literally do it while stretching, sipping water, or staring at the ceiling like a memory master.
It's low effort, high impact. Try it after your next lesson. You'll be surprised how much sticks.
Hack 3 is one of my personal favorites, especially if you're on the go. Voice note reviews.
After you finish studying something, whether it's a grammar rule, a new set of vocabulary, or even a historical concept, record a quick voice note summarizing what you learned.
Just speak it out in your own words. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, the less scripted, the better.
Then here's the magic. Listen to it later. When you're walking, making breakfast, commuting, it turns your dead time into study time.
And there's more. By listening to yourself explain something, you'll quickly notice what you forgot, what sounds unclear, and where you need to review again.
Plus, it builds your speaking confidence, which is amazing if you're learning a language or preparing for a presentation.
Honestly, it's like building your own mini podcast. And you're the guest and the host.
Hack 4 turns your entire room into a memory playground. It's what we call the post-it note route.
Here's how it works. Take key info, like new vocab, tricky formulas, or even grammar tips, and write each one on a separate post-it. Then stick them all over your space.
Your mirror, your closet, your fridge, even your light switch. The idea is to surround yourself with tiny reminders throughout your day.
This taps into something called spatial memory. When your brain sees something in a specific physical spot, it starts anchoring that information to that location.
And over time, those little notes become part of your routine. You're brushing your teeth, and boom, passive vocab review.
Plus, it's fun. You can move them, color code them, or even create paths, like a mini scavenger hunt for your brain.
Turn your space into a classroom without even noticing. Low effort, high exposure.
Hack 5 flips the usual study method upside down. It's called learn in reverse.
Most people are taught to memorize rules first, then look at examples. But research shows that doing it the other way around, examples first, then rules, actually improves retention and understanding.
So instead of reading, here's how past perfect works. Start by looking at 3 example sentences in context and asking yourself,
What do these have in common?
what's happening in the structure?
You're training your brain to figure out the pattern, not just copy it. And that activates deeper learning because you're solving, not just memorizing.
It's like learning the rules of a game by playing first, not by reading the manual.
Try it with grammar, math, coding, anything with structure. Learn the logic from the outcome. Hack number 6 is all about curiosity. And no, it's not just for little kids asking why 100 times a day. It's called the why method, and it's a game changer.
Here's how it works. Every time you learn a new concept, instead of just memorizing it, stop and ask yourself, why does this matter?
Why is this true?
Why does it work this way?
This technique taps into what psychologists call elaborative encoding. By connecting new information to things you already know or care about, you make it stickier and more meaningful.
Let's say you're learning a grammar rule. Don't just accept it. Ask, why do native speakers say it this way? Or, why do we need this tense in this situation?
It turns passive reading into active reflection, and your brain goes, okay, this isn't random. I get it now.
Hack 7 is all about visuals. And we're not talking about pretty highlighters. We're talking about visual triggers, also known as dual coding.
Here's the science. When your brain gets info in 2 formats, words and visuals, it's much more likely to remember it.
So instead of writing photosynthesis, try drawing a cartoon leaf and a sun. Or use emojis. Or doodle a little face next to a verb to remember conjugation.
The sillier or weirder, the better. Your brain loves novelty. It pays attention to things that stand out.
This is especially powerful for visual learners. But really, dual coding helps everyone because it gives your memory more paths to retrieve that information later.
You're not just making your notes more fun, you're making them smarter. Hack 8 turns your study space into a learning environment that evolves with you. We call it the memory wall.
It's super simple. Set aside one section of your room, like a whiteboard, corkboard, or even a blank wall, and slowly build it with everything you're learning.
Add vocab words, quotes, diagrams, formulas, doodles, whatever you're working on. As you learn, you keep adding and organizing that wall like a living knowledge map.
The key here is visibility and repetition. You'll see your most important info every day without even trying to study.
And it's motivating too. You get a visual sense of progress, like, whoa, look how much I've covered in 2 weeks.
So whether you're prepping for exams, mastering grammar, or just want daily reminders, make your wall your memory coach. Hack 9 is all about turning what you know into what you can explain. It's called the one take explanation video.
Here's how it works. After studying a topic, grab your phone, hit record, and try to explain the whole thing in one take without reading or pausing.
No edits, no script, just you, the camera, and what your brain actually remembers.
This is basically active recall on steroids, and it forces clarity. If you hesitate, ramble, or blank out, that's your brain telling you what needs work.
Plus, if you're learning a language or preparing for presentations, this is great verbal fluency training.
You don't even have to share it, just keep it for yourself. But if you do want feedback, show it to a friend, teacher, or our members group, maybe. And finally, hack 10 is the easiest one you'll ever do because it works while you're sleeping.
It's called retrieval during sleep cycles, and it's all about doing a light review just before bed.
Not a cram session, not a deep study hour, just 5 to 10 minutes of gentle recall. Go over your flashcards, summarize your notes, or mentally replay what you learned that day.
Here's why this works. According to research by Rash and Bourne, sleep helps your brain consolidate memory. And the info you reviewed right before sleeping gets priority access to that process.
So instead of scrolling social media before bed, try reviewing a few key points and let your brain do the heavy lifting while you rest.
Seriously, it's the laziest hack with the highest return. All right, let's do a lightning recap of all 10 genius study hacks we covered today.
Memory anchors. Use smells, sounds, or textures to link with learning.
1 minute replay. Reflect without notes right after studying.
Voice note. Reviews. Teach yourself on the go.
Post-it note route. Surround your space with daily reminders.
Learn in reverse. Use examples to uncover the rule.
The why method. Ask deeper questions to encode smarter.
Visual triggers. Draw, doodle, and turn ideas into images.
Memory wall. Turn your wall into a living review space.
One take explanation video. Teach it to test it.
Sleep review. Light recall before bed for overnight memory gain. Now here's your challenge. Pick 2 of these hacks and use them today. Seriously. The sooner you apply them, the faster you'll see results.
And if you found even one of these helpful, drop a brain emoji in the comments. We love seeing what sticks with you.
Also, if you want more science-backed study strategies, early access to new videos, and bonus lessons we don't post publicly, check out our channel memberships. It's where our most dedicated learners hang out.
And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still thinks highlighting is studying.
Thanks for learning with us, and we'll see you in the next one.